Hello everyone, good evening to all. This is our second webinar organized by Sri Samraj Physiotherapy Center, Dindivanam and Fitness Rehab India YouTube channel, EXRX India website in support with Peak Health Studio, Chennai. And we have our resource person, Dr. Rupesh, who is a sports physiotherapist and closely working with cricket team, especially Cricket Association of Pondicherry.
Good evening to the participants who have come to attend this session. So today we are going to see about the mysterious multifidus. In the sense, why it is called mysterious, because we don't know what are all the powers the multifidus is having in our body or in our issues. For example, if you have any low back aches or any other postural issues, multifidus plays an important role. So I have termed it as amazing powers of your mysterious multifidus. So why Pilates? Because in Pilates, many of them know that core and glute is activating throughout the exercises. Even your multifidus acts in your Pilates workout. So coming to the multifidus part, we all know that multifidus is the deepest muscle in your back. So its origin and insertion is at three levels, from the cervical, thoracic, and at the lumbar area. So each is having its own stability and mobility concept on its area. So multifidus at lumbar spine mostly stabilizes the SI joint. So SI joint is nothing but the origin site of the lower multifidus. So multifidus will give you the more stability to your anti-gravity muscle also. That is your whole back spine. So now I'll just give you a brief story about how I got idea on multifidus. That is, when I first discovered this connection in my body, light bulbs of understanding went off for me like never before. And when I put this connection into Pilates work, I was already doing by changes started to happen, and I got more value out of every single Pilates class and session I took or I did. So it means, for example, if you're sitting idle or if you're working out anywhere in the work area, your multifidus starts getting weak or starts getting inactive. So you have to work on your multifidus throughout your area. So there is a concept like just tuck your tummy in, that will strengthen your core. But definitely it will be not strengthening your core, and it will be like just activating your muscle. In the same way, your multifidus also has to be activated. So in fact, it's actually the multifidus connection that I credit with gaining back 2 inches of height that I had lost forever due to my SI joint dysfunction, which caused low back pain. So previously I used to keep my back purse in my back pocket, which was creating me SI joint dysfunction because of the postural change or imbalance. So once I started working with many manipulation therapy or mobilization, my pain was like reducing on and off. But when I went to attend the Pilates class with my instructor from Canada, so she taught me few postural correction in my body. So that worked really well to correct my SI joint dysfunction. So and it given me a great result in my low back pain. Actually, the low back pain people can 100% believe the Pilates for their treatment concept. But my absolute favorite thing about the exercise is that you can do anywhere and no one can tell you are doing it. The only way anyone will know if you are suddenly get taller right before the eyes. By the way, this is actually a possible way with Pilates. For example, if you do some static quadriceps exercise in your OPD or for your ONE at your home, what feel you get? So it will be like just contracting or concentrically or contracting your quadriceps muscle alone. But in Pilates, you will be not able to find anything what you are doing, but it is in self-description. So you need to feel it. That is the patient or the client where you are giving the Pilates concept or Pilates exercise, they will feel it and then they are going to give you a result. For example, if any attendee is with that client, when after the session, when they come out, they can feel the change, that is taller right before the eyes, the height concept. Now this is the height difference you can see in this picture, where before the postural correction and after the postural correction. So someone with slouched posture or some other deformity or some other dysfunction, after giving you a Pilates exercises, they can increase their height. So that is like visual feedback you will be getting as your result. If you don't feel this connection right away, be patient with yourself and don't give up. Some people feel it right away, while others have to imagine it and see it in their minds for a while before it works. Because, for example, when you give anything, not only exercise, even when you are starting to make your handwriting neatly, so you need some time to correct your handwriting, or some people gets it immediately on their path, because this is like motor connection to your brain. Some people's motor connection will be like quick fast twitch, so someone's will be like slow twitch. So we need to wait for their progress. It is also not unusual to feel it all in your deep abdominals. So it will be not like single activity. It is like completely it is going to work on your whole back. Even if you are targeting only one muscle, multifidus, then also it is going to work on your deep abdominals, gluteus maximus, and surrounding your pelvic floor muscles also get activated. The multifidus and your transverse abdominis are a team. So if you are feeling deep abdominals, it is a good sign that you have found your multifidus. You just might not sense the connection in your back yet. If you have never felt your multifidus before, it's a much different feeling than your typical muscle contraction. It is a deep feeling on the spine. These muscles swell in a good way. Swell in the sense it is like contracting. When you are contracting, you can feel your muscles bulging it out. The multifidus responds really well to imaginary. So even if you are not feeling anything, using the imaginary will still help you to get great results. Eventually, with the practice, you will begin to sense the multifidus connection in your body. So here I want to add some more thing. At the end of the session, you need to be answering few questions to get your e-certificate. So some of the major questions are in many slides. So I'm repeating this point again. Multifidus responds really well to imaginary. Imaginary means you need to imagine that you are activating or giving exercise to multifidus. So even if you are not feeling anything, using this imaginary will still help you to get great results. You no need to do any exercises also. If you just imagine that you are doing something on your multifidus, your results are 100% possible. Eventually, with practice, you will begin to sense the multifidus connection in your body. So give this one a try and let me know how it goes. If you need any personalized exercise plan, anything, you can contact us after this session. So recruitments of multifidus is most probably in your breathing. How it works in your breathing. It is the major principle in Pilates. So we'll see the multifidus in breathing in the later slides. Now we'll come to the multifidus in sedentary. What is sedentary? In sitting, standing, walking. How your multifidus gets activated. So in sitting, if you are sitting upright, your anti-gravity muscle starts working. So automatically your deeper stability muscle, that is your multifidus, gets activated. So for example, if you are sitting for a long time, there will be weakness of your multifidus. So you need to activate it even when you are sitting. That is for IT professionals, someone who is sitting in front of computer for longer duration. They need to strengthen not only their core but also their deeper muscle, which is multifidus, which prevents low back pain after their experienced work in the IT profession. Next is standing. In the teachers or in police officers or police traffic police, they stand for longer duration. So what it happens, ideally your multifidus is not going to be co-contracting. So then there should be activation of your muscle. So that activation gives immense pressure on your low back stability, that is your pelvic joint. When your pelvic is stable, most of your low back issues and lower body issues, that is your knee pain or any imbalances, will be corrected, and it is going to be preventing you from further degenerations. Nextly, the multifidus in sportsmen or athletes. So they'll be having 4 times the physical activity of a normal population. So their multifidus activation, for example, if you take a cricketer, for a bowler, if you give them some exercises, it is going to give more of the low back strain. So to prevent that low back strain, you need to activate your multifidus. So you correct your shoulder, you correct your all the weakness in their postural changes. Then also you need to concentrate on the multifidus for a sportsman. This will be giving you 100% more efficiency in their performance also. So in what best position is activate to multifidus? That is, what is the best position to activate your multifidus? So prone lying will be your best position to activate your multifidus. So it is attached to your, that is insertion site. Insertion site is on your spinous process of your lumbar or mammillary process of your lumbar spine. So erector spinae is nearby that. So extension of spine is the major activity of your multifidus. So in that position, if you start activating it, it is going to give you wonderful results. So even the some other activities like Superman exercises, those things also is going to recruit, but the best position is like prone lying and extending your back. That is McKenzie extension exercise is the best position to activate or recruit the multifidus muscle. So next slide is, we'll go to the pilatus part. In what way pilatus is going to give you the major effects on your multifidus? So now I'm going to give you a brief introduction of about pilatus. These are all the questions you are going to answer post session. So pilatus is a mind body exercise system designed to optimal physical fitness in people at every level of physical ability. So here it is physical ability. Those who are physically disabled, pilatus is slightly tough to give on them because it is a mind body exercise system. So they need to work on their mind as well as their body. Body in the sense, for example, if you are doing any bridging exercise, your body has to work. Now I'm going to give you bridging with TA activation, that is tummy tuck. Your mind has to work. That is contracting your TA, you need to lift your hip up. There is sequence of exercise. You need to work with your mind as well as body. So someone who is disabled cannot do both together. Someone will be like just lifting their hip up in the stroke line. So that is not going to give you 100% effect on your pilatus. So Joseph Pilatus is the inventor of the pilatus. During World War I, he was developing a series of exercise and innovative equipments to help the strength and mobility of the soldiers who affected in the World War. So those who are injured or those who are not able to move, he was giving the exercise pattern in the form of pilatus. So in what way the strength and mobility is improved is with the springs. So springs is the equipment, floor is the mat. So mat and equipment is going to be the major things you need to be using in the pilatus. When Joseph Pilatus immigrated to Newark, the local professional dance community discovered that his conditioning technique called contrology, that is pilatus system of fitness. So not only in the hospital setup or injured site, that is for rehabilitation, even for general fitness, the pilatus system works. So this helps prevent the injuries and improve strength while maintaining long, even muscle tone. So you are not going to build the muscle. For example, it is not for bodybuilders. Even if you are obese, even if your BMI is higher, your muscles are going to get strengthened and it is not going to give you some imbalance, that is disability or dysfunction. Later resulted in the inclusion of modern principles of exercise science, facial fitness and spinal rehabilitation, making it one of the safest and most effective methods available. For example, if you are giving some loads, for example, weight training, if you are giving for any rehabilitation purpose, it might affect you or overload. So optimal loading will be given only in the pilatus. If overload happens, it is again back to normal. You are going to come back to your starting phase of your rehabilitation. But here, it is like you are going to give the safest form. You are not going to work higher than what they need. So it is calculated exercise. So pilates is series of over 500 controlled and low impact exercises to engage the mind and total conditioning. So it not only works on your affected area. For example, someone with your knee bursitis or your hip bursitis, you are trying to give them pilates. So it is not going to work only on that area. It is going to give you conditioning. For example, they are overtrained previously or overuse injury, Pilates is going to condition that overuse injury and reduce the loading. So optimal loading or optimal thinking of what they are doing is going to happen due to motor training of your brain, because it is a mind body coordination exercise. Pilates works so well for a wide range of people in rehabs, prenatal clients, athletes, celebrities, and everyone in between. For example, rehabs, why I am coming to say is because it is in low impact exercises. For example, when they are in acute stage of any injury, for example, any knee ACL tear or meniscus tear in their knee, so it is going to work and give you wonders in relaxing your joints. So this relaxation is going to be your best treatment or conservative treatment immediately after injury for 48 hours. So prenatal clients is immediately after getting positive of their pregnancy. So their changes in their hormonals and their musculoskeletal things are changing over there. So this is going to give you wonderful relaxation exercises for the mothers who are going to go to their delivery stage. So this is going to help you a great impact on that. So celebrities, why I am coming to say is like they are of BMI in acute and normal conditioning. BMI will be there in the celebrities. There will be optimal BMI. So this BMI is going to be maintained only if your Pilates is given to them in low impact exercises. So Pilates exercise helps both men and women of all ages develop optimal strength, flexibility, endurance, and posture without bulking up or stressing the joints. So there is no bulking of muscle over here, only strengthening of your muscle, and there is no stressing of joint. It is an open chain exercises. Pilates improves physical appearance, stamina, stress relief, focus. Pilates is an all-in-one system that provides strength training, core conditioning, muscle rebalancing, and improved mind-body focusing. So Pilates is all-in-one system. So it is not going to work only on your motor control or your muscle. So it even works on your neurological system also. So it gives you strength, core conditioning, mainly the core conditioning, because this is the center of your body. So this gives the major component in your Pilates. Muscle rebalancing, that is, if you are overloaded it is going to rebalance. Rebalance in the sense this function is going to convert into a normal function and improve your mind body focus. When you are not concentrating in other activities, after doing Pilates, you will be improving your concentration also. Whether performed on a mat or a specialized equipment, Pilates that incorporates modern theories of exercise science. So what are the specialized equipments? That is reformers, we have barrels, then you have certain springs to work on your exercise therapy. So here we have 5 basic principles. So what are the 5 basic principles in Pilates we are going to see. So before going to the principles of Pilates, so we'll see the exercise therapy, that is normal exercise therapy's principle. What are the principles of normal exercise therapy? That is general exercise therapy we study in our Dina Gardner or the basic Caroline Kirchner. So that is joint mobility and stability. If you are giving an exercise, there should be 100% mobility and stability. So next, when you are going to strength, there should be 100% flexibility of your muscle to give strength. Then aerobic and anaerobic, you are going to convert your energy system. Then your neuromuscular coordination, that is your PNF patterns or your coordination or balance pattern. So that balance pattern is going to give you the principle of your exercise therapy. So everything is having their own principle. For example, many will be having principles in your life, kind of that Pilates is having its own principle. So if you follow these principles, then only Pilates is going to work. So the Pilates involves the following biomechanical principles. These are breathing, pelvic placement, ribcage placement, scapular movement and stabilization, head and cervical placement. So for example, if you are giving any exercise, you are going to involve all these components in their prescription, that is exercise prescription. So when you are prescribing any exercise, for example, breathing is an exercise. If you are even giving your breathing, you need to follow these 5 principles. That is, including breathing, 4 principles has to be added on. So this mind body awareness ensures focus on precision and control in any Pilates program. So precision in the sense, the smaller fine movements or smaller fine corrections are given to the clients by cueing or visual or motor responses. So first we will go to the breathing. What does breathing do? It promotes effective oxygenation. So your lung capacity increases automatically. So when your lung capacity is increased, your cardiac endurance is increased. So for example, if I ask you to do 3 sets into 4 reps or 5 reps, you need endurance or capacity to do that repetitions. So before that, you need to have your endurance of your muscle. So this is going to help in the cardiac endurance, that is cardiac muscle. So focuses the mind on each task and helps avoid unnecessary tension. So it is like task oriented. So if the task is being like stressed activity, the client or patient is not going to be interested to do the activity or the exercise what you are prescribing. So here it is like a task which is going to help you in reducing in the unnecessary tension. So particularly in the neck, shoulders and mid back. So if you give any isometric exercise to your neck, you should not like stress your neck joint or your spinal joint or your muscles. It should be like tension free. So now everyone can exhale deeply, which activates your deep supporting muscles. It may be diaphragm or your pelvic floor muscles. But including this, you are going to activate your multifidus in this component. So I have told recruitment of multifidus in breathing. So how your multifidus recruits? So when you are breathing, I want everyone to sit erect, upright. When you are upright, what happens? You are lengthening your spine or you are giving tallness to your body. When you are tall, you are going to stretch or activate that muscle where the origin of your multifidus is PSIS in your pelvis. So when you are sitting upright or erect, that is going to give lengthen on your spinal joints, which is a support to your breathing activity. So how you can feel that? So everyone can keep your thumbs at your PSIS, and from that you need to take 1 inch above that and give a deep pressure because it is deepest muscle. So when you are giving the deep pressure with your thumbs, there will be bulging out. So that bulging out is normal. When you inhale deeply, there will be bulging of your multifidus muscle. So that is how you can find whether your multifidus is recruited or not. So breathing is a 3-dimensional pattern which is encouraged during expanding the rib cage in all directions. So your rib cage is covered around your body, that is your upper body. So when you are taking deep breath, what it happens, you are going to inhale deeply. You are going to expand your chest and you are going to enlarge your diaphragm. So there you are going to upright your posture. Then there will be activation of your multifidus. So during exhalation, facilitate spinal flexion. For example, ab crunches you are giving in your gym or in your rehabilitation exercises, when the client is exhaling out, you need to flex your spine. Then only the complete air in the alveoli is going to come out. So during inhalation, facilitate spinal extension. So you need to give extension activity of your spine. So this is when you are returning from ab crunch to the normal position, you need to inhale. So this is going to work in your deep multifidus activity. When your multifidus is activated in your breathing, your low back muscles is going to activated. Then you can prevent your low back pain or overuse of your low back area. So this is going to give you wonders in your practice. That is even in your sports or even in your regular clients, musculoskeletal clients also, it is going to give you the wonderful activity. So next one is your pelvic placement. So as everyone knows, pelvic is the base or center of your body. So it acts as your beam and column. That is your hip joint. So your femur is your column. Okay. So it is the key to emphasize control and stabilization of the pelvis. So your pelvis is going to control your complete lower body activity and your lumbar spine, both static or as well as dynamic. So dynamic is something with physical activity. When you are running, you are activating your multifidus. When you are sitting, you are activating your multifidus. So that is starts where is from your pelvis. So this reduce your minor errors. For example, there is some different gait patterns we have all learned. So if you find any changes in their gait, if you start giving this type of Pilates exercise, or you use your pelvic placements principle, you can reduce those minor errors by activating or correcting your kinetic chain of your muscle. So this is again like imagining what you are going to do. That is multifidus, you are imagining that it is going to control in a correct, good manner. So then this is going to give you optimal alignment. So when the optimal alignment is there, you are going to feel your tallness. So when you are tall, then the previous assessment that shows that you are in the proper channel or you are in the proper exercise prescription. So there will be a good coordination. What is coordination? When I ask you to stand in single leg, there will be like imbalances. So you'll be shaking to your left, right, or you might even fall. So you can prevent that. So it is going to give you a good coordination. So this improves your balance also. So coordination and balance works together. So indirectly it is going to activate your vestibular also, vestibular system. So completely it is like mind body coordination which is taken to your motor patterns. So we have learned about many patterns, PNF patterns, etc. So here the motor patterns which is going to register in your upper motor neurons. So that is your brain. So it takes the connection. So then there will be progression of your involved exercise or prescription. So next one is your rib cage placement. So when you are activating your exercises in supine lying or prone lying, your rib cage is the base or it is going to fall on the floor. So there should be a exact manner of execution. So there should not be any elevation of your rib cage. So for example, even when you are sitting and raising your both hands up, there will be elevation of your lower rib cage, protrusion of your lower rib cage. That should not be happening. So if that happens, what it is, your rib cage is not placed properly. It is been exaggerating the curve in your spinal column. So when you are exaggerating the curve, you are not activating the correct muscle. So when you are not activating the correct muscle, you are not going to give the best of the results what you need. You are not going to get the change. So this is very important and key principle in the Pilates or even your normal exercise prescription. So in Pilates, definitely this has to be taken in part. Next, reduce the confusion and compensation. For example, so confusion is terming the diaphragm. So when you extend your rib cage, diaphragm is going to enlarge. So there, if you prevent that confusion, diaphragm is going to take the motor response equally by balancing the core activation. So there won't be any imbalances in your stress activity of your diaphragm. So diaphragm is not going to injure or your core is not going to injure. If you make your rib cage as your base in your exercise, the stress on your other muscle is being reduced. So you're not going to injure that. So have this in the what is in mind. So this also is very important. So there should not be any confusion or compensation in your exercise prescription or movement imbalances on the clients when they are moving their rib cage. So fourth one is your scapular movement and stabilization. So as we all know, for lower body, we saw pelvic placement is the important area. So for the upper body, its scapular movement and scapular stabilization is very important. If you don't, if you reduce the mobility in your scapula, it is going to affect your shoulders. If you reduce the stability in your scapula, it is going to affect your shoulders. So both the components should be added in your Pilates exercises. So stabilizing scapula on the rib cage is an important as contracting the abdominal muscles during initiation of every exercise in a flow. As we all know, shoulder is a fourth joint. So what is the fourth joint? It is ST joint, that is scapulothoracic joint. So what it is? So it is the scapula is placing over your thoracic cage, that is your posterior aspect of your rib cage. So when you try to even move your rib cage or expand your chest, this scapula is going to move. So that's why the scapular stabilization is 100% applicable in Pilates. Even in your learning in exercise therapy, you are going to stabilize your scapula and give the mobility activities, that is passive movement or active movement to your client. So that is a base. So this base has to be seen. For example, simply if you are asking them to lie down, and if you ask them to do any chest press activity, it's not going to be on the chest, it is going to be on the different area. If you stabilize your scapula, then you give that exercise, it is going to be 100% on your chest. So likewise, every principle is being important in your daily activity. So this is going to give you a smooth, uninterrupted continuity of your movements. So uninterrupted in the sense there won't be any imbalance. So the movement is uninterrupted. Even in your frozen shoulder, end range is interrupted. So while doing the Pilates, that end range is also not going to uninterrupt. Next is head and cervical placement. So we all know it is a very weak stability muscle, that is your cervical extensors. So your cervical extensors are not falling down because of your great anti-gravity activation in your cervical extensors. So this gives the hold in its spinal curvature, with the skull balancing directly above the shoulders when sitting in neutral or hanging down your neck joint. For example, when you are doing your extension activity, that is prone extension of your low back, your head and cervical weight is going to fall on your multifidus muscle. So it is a deep stabilization muscle. So it has to be taken out in the balancing format. So you need to concentrate even on your head and cervical placement. Then your mind concentration, that is mentally you will be feeling fresh. This is going to give you connection in your attention, that is you have eyes, that is eyes in the sense you are going to see the environment while you are doing the exercise. So if you give the attention, your exercise is 100%. So you need to fix to the single objective. So while you are doing your ab crunch, for example, that should be like single objective, only the ab crunch should be in your mind. Other than that, nothing should be there. So combining these 5 principles, that is your breathing, pelvic placement, rib cage, scapula, and your head and cervical together gives you the base of your Pilates. If you know this 5 concept, you can simply give your Pilates exercise to your clients. But there is lot more than this to give in Pilates to your clients. Whatever I thought is just the base. So this base is going to give you the idea of Pilates, idea of practicing the Pilates. That's all. It is not just like this is the Pilates. There are a lot more schools of teaching in Pilates, which teaches many principles and many exercises, many ideas on the recent trends in the practice in physiotherapy. So what we need from Pilates? So core is the cornerstone in rehab. So if your core is strong, your core is going to take up the load or share your workload, then gives you the easy result. When your results are there, then a client is going to come back to you and refer you further clients. So your practice is much more simpler. So motor relearning strategies. For example, it is not easy to use the 5 principles. If you try to use these principles, your motor relearning strategies is going to start up. For example, if you are not able to use 5 principles initially, if you start doing only breathing, your lung capacity is improved. So you feel fresh. When you are fresh, if you start activating the other principle, your relearning process is started. So the strategy of work should be within you, or idea of giving exercise should be from a physiotherapist only. Muscle and movement efficiency. So for example, if I'm giving them the ab crunches, the same exercises, the muscle is strong, but it is not efficient. How will you find? So when you touch or when you palpate that muscle, it might be like stone, bulged out, but it may not be 100% efficient. They might be shivering at the mid range of their crunching activity. So in Pilates, even at mid range, it will be having the good movement efficiency. Movement efficiency is there, you are not going to overuse it. So you are preventing your overuse injury. When your overuse injury is prevented, you are being injury free. So when the injury is freed, the client is being given the 100% from your physiotherapy practice. So stable central platform. Stable central platform is your pelvis. When your pelvis is strong, it is going to be preventing your bone aging. So when you prevent your aging process, it is going to give you higher form of exercise therapy. So higher form of exercise therapy is top of your field. So you can be in the top of your field. So deep and globular muscular system. So globular muscular system in the sense, for example, few people say I went to gym 1 year back. I was bulking up and I was very fit. Once I stopped quitting the gym, my muscles went flaccid. I became lean. But in Pilates, once you are trained, if you even stop for 1 year, it is not going to go back to its previous state. It is going to be your muscle itself. It is been activated your Golgi tendon. So it is going to be within you completely throughout your life. So what it gives? It in the sense Pilates. Pilates gives you a tool in your regular practice or idea of treatment protocol in your diagnosis. So this is only a tool. I'm not saying you need to give Pilates for your low back pain. So for Pilates, you need to choose which is best. For example, for low back pain, there is McKenzie flexion and extension exercise, both. But which one to use is your assessment. When you assess it properly, you can use or pick out what it need to be given to your client. You can justify it. So in that, you can use it as a tool. So someone with low and very poor multifidus, you can use this as a tool. It will be giving you a very best result. And it targets control specifics of dysfunction. So what is control specifics? Dysfunction is nothing but you are not able to function properly. For example, SI joint dysfunction we saw in the multifidus story. So what it happens, there will be hike in your PSIS. Gillette's test you are going to assess for your SI joint dysfunction. So that dysfunction can be controlled by giving this Pilates. So next it is problem solving capacity for identified cause for pain. So this is on your assessment again. If you assess properly, you can use Pilates or your manual therapy, mobilization, dry needling, or even electrotherapy properly to solve your problem. That is your patient's problem, to reduce pain. When pain is reduced, the patient is going to believe you and is going to do whatever you say. Then if you say him to do the wrong exercise also, he is going to listen to you and give the proper practice. For that, you need to identify the cause and reduce that pain. Recognize and train assessed muscles to work in a coordinated way. So using the principles, if you coordinate, That is, if you put it in an order, that is from breathing, pelvic, scapula, rib cage, and then your head and neck. If you coordinate it in a way, there is going to be training of your muscles. So for example, as soon as we get up, we are going to brush, we are going to do our basic ADLs and then breakfast, then go to work. It is a pattern which is registered. In the same way, if you teach them the principles for first 2 sessions, it is fine. But you need to be doing it in a coordinated way. Only with that you can use Pilates. Can make client to perform functional exercise with pain inhibiting pathology. What is pain inhibiting pathology? So you are going to inhibit your pain pathology in the anterior horn cell, that is your upper motor neurons. So if you want to say train your client by giving you exercise to target the higher motor control, your pain is going to automatically disappear or stop. Your opium is going to release over there and P substance is going to disperse the pain. So when pain is not there, we are safe. That is, we in the sense our treatment is safe. We are not doing any harm. So we can give the result to the client. So from this session, what we are going to take home? So stabilization and mobilization. So you need to stabilize one area, that is even your scapula or your pelvis. You are going to stabilize one and you are going to mobilize the other. For example, if the proximal structure is stabilized, distal substance, that is distal limb or area is mobilized. For example, crunches, you are stabilizing pelvis. Proximal trunk is mobilized. So in this, you need to work with one stabilization quantity and mobilization quality. That is your muscle efficiency. So both quantity and quality should be maintained in your client's exercise. So this is client-centric, not problem-centric. So for example, client can come to you with SI joint low back pain, but client doesn't know that low back pain is due to their SI joint. So you need to assess and correct that problem to reduce that pain or dysfunction. So this exercise is up to you, not the client. Client cannot ask for Pilates. You need to assess and give Pilates to the client. Usually client comes to us and asks for IFT ultrasound, so that they can ask. But here you cannot make the client to ask, I need Pilates for my low back pain. So you need to assess, you need to give a problem solving capacity to your client or your assessment, not the client. Any clarification you need this in this, because this is very important, not only in this question and answer, but to your regular practice. So if your assessment is strong, you can apply any technique for that assessment. So this doesn't depends on the client. This depends only on the problem what that client was having. So that can be found only in the physiotherapist's assessment. Okay. So begin to sense the multifidus. So now I will teach everyone in the same position, whatever you are. For example, many will be watching this webinar in lying, sitting, standing, or whatever the position you can be. So what you need to do is place your hands or palm at the side of your gluteus maximus. Gluteus maximus. So even in sitting, just don't move yourself. Whatever you are sitting, take your hands and place on your gluteus maximus and try to contract your glutes. So what happens? Automatically you feel you are increasing your height. When you are lying down, you feel there is change in your posture. That is only because of your multifidus. So still more you need to find this feel. How you can find this feel? You can ask someone near you to place your hands just below your PSIS, and you can make them to feel your bulging out of your multifidus. So everyone can feel your multifidus in this pattern. So pattern of movements. So what is pattern of movement? So movement is mobility. So here in the principle, what movement we are seeing? In breathing, we are seeing a three-dimensional movement. That is one pattern of movement. So this pattern, you are going to take it as a point to your end of the session. Next one is core and Pilates. So Pilates is not only for core. 100% it is not only for your core. Even this is for your dorsiflexors or plantar flexors, or even your scale knee, neck muscles, not only for your core muscle. Fine. So Pilates doesn't give you the core strength only, it even gives you in different forms of exercises. So I am going to give you a brief case presentation after giving an Pilates to a client. So it is like immediate effect of a Pilates method exercise session on the co-contraction pattern of multifidus with chronic low back pain. So this case I didn't see, but this case gives a big idea in the practice, that is physiotherapy practice. Pilates exercise aimed at the voluntary request of the deep stabilizers. Deep stabilizers are nothing but your pelvic floor, core, then your multifidus. Fine. These exercises are intended to promote a change in neuromuscular programming. In the sense, if you give Pilates, that is Pilates is nothing but the 5 basic principles. If you use that 5 basic principles, it is going to give you a change in neuromuscular programming. Your body can be programmed to your activity or to your strict response. Fine. So this neuromuscular programming is taken to your brain from your spinal columns. So the spinal columns is going to give you complete results in your treatment. This new pattern may have reduced the need of trunk muscles recruitment as a compensatory mechanism to maintain stability of lumbar region during local muscle endurance tests, that is Beering-Sorsens test of the spinal erectors. That is, you are lying on your tummy at the edge of the couch. You can assess the client's endurance by asking them to hold for how many seconds they can hold. That is prone extension test in other name. So when you're giving this exercise pre and post test, this is going to be giving you marvelous changes in your multifidus. This is an EMG study. So with using EMG or MRI study, you can feel the activation of multifidus. So that is for your research purpose. So thus, with reduced muscle co-contraction, the energy expenditure during the task can be reduced, which contributes to the occurrence of less muscle fatigue. So when your prescription is like targeted, there will be reduced muscle fatigue, and the client will be not getting bored. Your treatment or your need is being fulfilled. So they are not going to be fine. When the muscle co-contraction is been reducing the energy expenditure, it is going to give you perfect treatment for your client. That is perfect exercise for your client. So for example, if you go to any physician for fever, if he writes 10 antibiotics or 10 medicines for you, will you be comfortable going to him next time? Definitely no. If I go to some physician, he will be just giving me 10 tablets for one session. So that itself is a mental tiredness or mental fatigue. So you'll be not go to them again. The same way, when a client comes, if you give plenty of exercise for the rehabilitation, it is not going to give them comfort zone. It is going to make them really worse. So they'll be not being comfortable to you. If you give crisp and clear exercises to their need, they'll be coming back to you for even a simple finger pain. So we can conclude this with a training session with Pilates method exercises was able to reduce co-contraction between the superficial and deep trunk muscles, that is multifidus. So a training session with Pilates method exercises was able to reduce co-contraction. Co-contraction in the sense, for giving low back exercises, you can reduce other muscle activity. For example, when you are giving hip ups or bridging exercises, you are going to activate your ankle, then your shin, then your quadriceps, hamstring, glute, everything together. But in Pilates, you no need to give everything together. You can reduce those co-contractions and superficial muscles and target only the needed structure, that is deep trunk muscle, during the local muscle activity or test. So this finding demonstrated the Pilates method exercises can have an acute effect on the co-contraction pattern of trunk muscles in individual with non-specific chronic low back pain. That low back pain can be due to any reason, even with SI joint or disc issues, IVDP, or if they have any scoliotic issues, then also give this multifidus activation. You are going to get the result in better format. So that evidence has been placed in front of you. So now we are going to coming to the end of the session. So do you have any questions? Okay, I will show the recruitment of multifidus. You can sit straight. So you can sit straight. Everyone can sit straight. I'll give you comments or cues on your activity. Everyone think that your head is being pulled up to your ceiling. So that is, you need to be sitting erect, upright. Your head has to be pulled up to your ceiling. So pulled it up. So now you place one hand on your gluteus maximus and other hand on your just above your PSIS, that is posterior superior iliac spine. So the hand on the posterior superior iliac spine has to be placed firmly in the sense with deep pressure. When the deep pressure is there, you might feel the bulging out of that muscle. That is your multifidus. So the hand on your gluteus muscle has to be contracted. That is, when you are in private place, when you are in public place, if you're in your emergency situation, if you get urgency in your toilet, what will you do? You will try to contract. So that is your Kegel's exercise kind of thing. You contract it, what happens? You can feel it. So we'll see the strengthening of multifidus later. First, we'll see the recruitment of multifidus. Recruitment itself is an activation of multifidus. When your multifidus is activated, you are strengthening your multifidus. So strengthening is not again with the weights. So even this is a basic strengthening. So contract your glutes, place your hands at your PSIS, and then you can feel that. So one more exercise for your multifidus is in your crook lying position. In crook lying, what you can do is place your hands at the PSIS. So then you can try to tilt your pelvis, that is posterior tilt of your pelvis. There also you are going to find your recruited multifidus. So this is also one activity on your multifidus. So if you want the protocols of your multifidus activity, you can text us individually, because this is an prescription of your multifidus activation. So depending upon the need of your time, your multifidus exercise will be given. So any other questions?
Yes, Rupesh, someone asked, how do you stretch multifidus?
So multifidus stretch is nothing but your cobra pose. So if you are going to the Iron Man pose and extending your spinal erectors, you are going to feel the multifidus stretch. Simple exercise. That is also the best position to find your activity. In third phase of cardiac rehabilitation, we can use two principles. That is your breathing. Breathing already you will be using in your first phase of your cardiac rehabilitation. With this, you can use your rib cage and scapular stability and mobility. So, for example, cardiac rehabilitation, they are going to give you insertion at your chest. So, there will be suture which is going to be forming an fibrous tissue. So, for mobilizing this, you can use your scapular stability by placing it in the optimal position. You are not going to stretch or overdo the scapular activity. So, you can definitely use scapular stabilization, mobilization with breathing principle. Fine, Akshita. Can we use this for coccygeal in your pelvic pain patients? So pelvic pain patients, we can use it 100%. For coccydynia, you need to reduce the inflammation. So if inflammation is reduced, coccydynia is going to disappear because it is a small fragments of bones from your distal end of your spine. So for coccydynia, Pilates is not going to work. But for pelvic pain, definitely you can use, that is osteitis pubis. 100% it is going to give you the result. In athletes, we are using this Pilates for osteitis pubis rehabilitation. Clear with the Jane? Next, any specific way of assessing its strength in PIDP patients? So specific way in the sense you cannot, what to say, give the assessment in an disabled patient. So someone with PID, you need to activate their muscles to test. So other than that, you cannot check for their muscle resistance in the PID, because that is going to aggravate its symptoms and give you or worsen their conditions. So there is no specific assessment for PID alone. So how many sessions need to activate multifidus and how to progress exercise? 1 second before that, any questions?
Another one more question. ONE.
Yeah.
How can Pilates help?
Pilates in ONE. So Pilates in ONE, there is no, what to say, harm in giving Pilates for ONE. It is not definitely going to worsen. For example, for ONE, if you give closed kinematic chain exercises itself, is the best protocol or best tool in your physiotherapy practice. Then why you need to come to Pilates is up to you. So if you think that closed kinematic chain exercise is not working on them, you can come to Pilates. Maybe in their end stage of ONE rehabilitation, you can use Pilates. But initial stage of ONE rehabilitation, closed kinematic chain exercises only does wonders. Pilates at the end stage. Once they need, after recovering from ONE, if they think that they need regular fitness, you can use Pilates. So Pilates can be used in the normal population, mostly in the normal population, than in the OA or in the higher population, that is like ACL tear. You can use Pilates to reconstruct after surgery for ACL. Fine, Neha Punjabi.
Sir, I have another question for you.
Yes.
Sir, I just need a little clarification, like the way you mentioned the 5 components. So
My
only when you
principle.
follow all of those 5 components, that is when you are sure that Pilates has been practiced efficiently, right?
For example, if you take Deepika Padukone, is she having any issues? No. When she is
No.
normal, if you use those 5 principles, she is going to be obtaining 100% results or muscle efficiency by giving Pilates. You take any athlete with even tennis elbow. So tennis elbow is an elbow pain. So they also can use all the 5 principles. So you take someone with osteitis pubis. So there they doesn't need any principles to be used, that is like head and neck or scapula. If you use only your rib cage and pelvis breathing, they will be like getting effect from that Pilates. So the choosing of principle is up to you. So someone, those who are 100% fit with their functional training and regular gymming activities, 5 principles is must to be followed. When someone is not needed, you can reduce few principles, need for the time. So I guess the example is suiting you.
Sorry?
The example what I gave suits you, that is helps you.
Yeah,
Convinced
as in
with
my
this answer?
confusion was only that like you can use a single component and still the Pilates could
Yeah,
be
in first stage
efficient.
of
Yeah,
cardiac
that was my question.
rehabilitation, you can use only the breathing principle.
Yeah, right.
So someone who is 100% fit, 5 components will give them the 100% efficiency. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
So how many sessions need to activate multifidus and how to progress exercise? So sessions, even 1 session is enough for certain people. For certain people, it may need many sessions, as I told in the story of the second slide. So it depends on the person's imaginary feel of how they take that multifidus. That's why I said multifidus is an imaginary feel. So if you start imagining that multifidus is activating, 1 session is enough. It takes that many sessions for that field. Fine, Jiva Jyoti. Thank you. Next question is, how should we progress the multifidus strengthening? So progression is challenging. So for example, in first stage of progressive resisted exercise, if you use yellow color TheraBand, how will you progress? Go to red color TheraBand. So in Pilates, starting with mat exercise, we can progress it with reformer. Reformer is nothing but little more challenging. I will show you what is reformer in the next slide. Fine. So reformer has different level or different intensities of the spring. So the springs give the progression of your exercise levels. Fine, Geetanjali. Sandesh. Pilates need to be done on Pilates bed? No. You can even do it on the floor. You can even do it when you are sitting on the chair. You can even do when you are sleeping, that is lying position, or whatever position you are in, you can start doing Pilates. Fine. So multifidus is an extensor when acting bilateral. So how does Cobra pose help in stretching multifidus? So the same way. So when you are assessing your posture, you are going to assess on both the sides. So you need to imagine here that you are going to stretch your multifidus. Multifidus can be activated only when you start imagining. So when that imagining feel is 100%, your stretch is 100%. And one more thing, if you try doing the Cobra pose turning to one side, only one side of your one side of your multifidus is going to felt. When you do it in your proper form, then both the sides, that is bilateral multifidus, is going to act. For that purpose only we are charging from the client. If client is doing wrong exercise or wrong pattern, activating wrong kinetic chain, we are here to give them the cues in the sense we need to stop them and say them, or give a tap and say them that you are doing it wrong. You need to start activating at both the sides. Fine. So you need to imagine what you are giving, or you need to give justification for what you are doing. So for example, Cobra pose in a straight form will give bilateral stretching. Photographs of my studio, that is the place where I practice Pilates. So this is the overall view. So this is the Pilates bed or Pilates reformer. So can you see my cursor? So this is where the springs is being placed. These springs have different levels of resistance. So this is the pulleys in the sense you can move or adjust that bed when you are activating your muscle or giving your exercise. So this you are going to adjust and give them more challenging exercises. That itself is a progression. So this is the reformer box. This is also a supplement to challenge your exercise pattern. Fine. So this is the Pilates ring, the black one. Black ring is the Pilates ring. You can use it for challenging the exercise activities. So that is how you can give the progression in Pilates. So this one is Pilates stability ring, that is disc. It moves completely 360 degree. It is going to move. In that you can give more challenging for balance and coordination. So this white color or brown color, you can find that is Pilates disc ring. So this is Pilates foam roller. So you can even use that to give challenging. So this is Pilates mini ball or stability ball. So using that you can give them challenging exercise. This is Pilates stability or foam pad. So for correcting your head and neck posture, if for example curvature is more, you can place this is thickness of just 2 inches and this is thickness of 5 inches. Depending upon the loss of curvature, you can use the base at your head and neck. So this is for your big one is for your pelvis. When you are sitting and doing exercises, this base can be used. So this one is the preparation for mat Pilates. So materials required are, you can use TheraBand also, TheraTube, whatever the materials you want, you can use it for challenging them in Pilates. So Pilates ring is used, mini ball, foam roller. These are all for Pilates group session preparation.
So on this, these are the materials you need to be arranging. So this is for functional training. So agility purpose, we use agility ladder. For balance and stability purpose, we use Bosu ball. So fine. Now I am going to give you just 6 questions. Out of 6, I need only 4 answers that you can answer in 2-mark way or in 2 sentences for answering it. So you can screenshot this page, answer. I want question as well as answer to be sent to the personal number of Chandramohan sir. Fine. Everyone took screenshot. I'll just wait for other 10 seconds.
Screenshot.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Rupesh. Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir.